Hi, my name's Dean Casamento from Melbourne Corporate Health and deancasamento.com.au. Imagine you could have a strategy or have a process that would allow you to get more things done in the day. Imagine a strategy or a process that would allow you to let go of a lot of the negativity from past events, be it anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt, even events that created some level of depression in the past. Imagine having a process of being able to let it all totally go. Imagine being able to let go of any limiting beliefs that you want to totally let go of too. Like I'm not good enough, or I'm not smart enough, or I have a fear of failure, or all these sorts of things that sometimes run at an unconscious level, almost like that little voice that we sort of hear from time to time. Imagine being able to have that all been totally gone and totally taken care of. Imagine if I could share with you a process that in a matter of 60 seconds to maybe 2 minutes, you could specifically eliminate anxiety on a specific event. So you literally couldn't feel it anymore. Anything you were anxious about, you literally could not feel it. It was literally just totally gone. Imagine you could totally let it totally go. Imagine being able to create memories of your goals that you want already unfolding in the future. So actually creating a memory of it out in the future, would that be valuable? Would all these things be valuable? If you're like me, I think the answer would most definitely be yes. So basically what we're going to go through today is how do you elicit your timeline, or elicit or discover your own personal time storage, how you store time in the past, and how you store time out into the future. Now, timeline therapy was created by a guy named Dr. Tad James from the Tad James Company back in the 1980s. He is a master trainer in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, master trainer in hypnosis, and also a master trainer in timeline therapy, obviously, to which he created back in the 1980s, as I said. It's been used by hundreds of thousands of people all around the world. Obviously, in my coaching business, it's something that I utilize a lot with my clients, and obviously also with myself too. It really is a process of almost like active imagination. You're literally just actively imagining the creation of your timeline. I'm not going to go into the difference between what the conscious mind is and what the unconscious mind is. However, the purpose of today is literally being able to just have some fun, to be able to create your own little timeline, your own storage of time, and allow you to be convinced that you can do that quite easily. It's a fun process, it's an easy process, and whatever you decide to do with it into the future, it really is totally dependent on you. And I'll be allowing you to get in contact with me either one-on-one, over the phone, or via Skype, or just send me an email about how you can use your own storage of time to the greatest advantage in regards to creating changes that you want to create. So let's quickly get into it, guys. So first step is to be able to elicit your timeline and to be able to create it. And it's scripted in a certain way that's really quite easy for you to do, and it's something you can do. I'll go quite slowly in the process, and I'm going to finish the video quite short, and then whatever you decide to do with it, obviously it is up to you. And have a look at some of my other videos on how you can go about letting go of anger, fear, sadness, hurt, guilt, anxieties, frustrations, and almost don't like to use that D word, but also depression. A fantastically powerful, life-changing tool, this process of timeline therapy. However, let's get stuck into actually eliciting your timeline. So, if I were to ask your unconscious mind where your past is and where your future is, I have an idea. You might say it's from up to down, or left to right, or some way in relation to your body. Now, it's not your conscious concept I'm after here, it's your unconscious concept. So whatever just comes up. So if I was to ask your unconscious mind, where your past is, to what direction would you point? And just notice what direction that comes from. Now, at this point, if you're finding it hard to think about what direction a memory of the past comes, maybe just think about something that happened a week ago. To what direction does that come from? Good. And as you do, notice where it comes from. And maybe what about something that happened a month ago? Notice where the direction of that memory comes from. And what about 6 months ago? What direction does that come from? What about a year ago? What direction does that come from? What about 5 years ago? What direction does that come from? Good. So, no doubt you've got the idea of where your past is. And now what about your future? If I was to ask your unconscious mind where your future is, to what direction would you point? Your future. So once again, you could ask yourself, what about something that's, if you're finding it hard to not know that, what about something that's going to happen next week? What direction does that come from? What about something that's going to happen a month from now? What direction? What about a year from now? And what about 5 years from now? Now that I'm certain that you're aware of where your future is and your past is. Now what I want you to do is bring your mind to the direction that those memories just came from, the memories of the past and the memories of the future. Do you notice that they imply a line? You know, the memories of the past, could there be a line in some orientation to yourself? Up, down, left, right, zigzag, doesn't really matter. It's your line, it's your storage of time, it's your timeline. And don't even try and make sense of it. Could you notice that there implies a line? Or could you notice that? Yeah? Good, okay. Now how would it look for the purpose of this process if you were to stretch out your line? So you could stretch it out, whichever way you want to stretch it out. That connects the past and the future. Good, so remember timeline is not only a visual process. It's also, it could be based on your feelings, it could be literally based on sounds. So in a moment, what I'm going to get you to do, because when I say line, I don't only imply only visual, because in a moment I'm going to get you to float above your timeline. And by float, it might be like sounds floating through the wind, or you know, floating in the bathtub, or just a feeling of floating through the clouds. If you decide to float, it's totally fine. You may not see anything. Okay, good. You got that? So what I want you to do, if you can, I want you to float above your timeline. Just go ahead and float above now. Just float above your timeline. Good. And now what I want you to do is ideally make sure that you're looking through your own eyes. That's if you're doing it visually. Make sure you're looking through your own eyes. Now remaining above your timeline, what I want you to do with your eyes closed, it could be your eyes closed or eyes open, remaining above your timeline, I want you to float back out into the past. Are you there? Good. Okay, now float back, come back towards now. Now remaining above your timeline, go back to now, and stop there. Stop back at now. Are you there? Good. I want you now facing out toward the future. I want you to float out to the future. And let me know when you're there. Or better yet, let yourself know when you're there, and just float out to the future. Now, phasing out to the future, what I want you to do, I want you to float higher and higher. I want you to float higher and higher and farther back. I want you to float up higher and higher and farther back. I want you to float up so high that your timeline seems like it's only 1 inch long. Just 1 inch long. Just float up higher and higher and further back. But still out into the future. Just float up higher and higher and further back until your timeline seems like it's 1 inch long. Get up there. Good. Good. Okay, now what I want you to do is float all the way back to now, and come all the way back to now, and come back into your room, or wherever you're sitting, wherever you're seated. And look, come all the way back to now, and come back into the room, or onto the chair, or onto the couch, wherever you're at. Good. How was that? So now, if you like most, what you would be able to notice now is your own storage of time. So what does that mean? So when you're ready to be able to let go of some of the negative emotion of the past, or put some goals out to your future, you've already got your beautiful storage of time. This process, this little tool that you're going to be able to use really, really easily and really, really effectively, be able to do the things that you want to do. Very, very powerful tool. In subsequent videos, I will be able to show you how to use your timeline to be able to let go of negative emotions and limiting decisions, and how to also be able to release anxiety. As there is a specific process, I will talk to you about it. However, if you want to find out more on how to let go of anger, fears, sadness, hurt, guilt, any host of limiting beliefs, limiting decisions, and anxiety, please feel free to contact me. My details are to come, either on my dean@deancasamento.com.au email, or dean@melbournecorporatehealth.com.au. Hope you enjoyed the video, and look forward to either seeing you, either speaking with you sometime into the future now. Thank you. Bye.